All right, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock, raining here at the Paddock Mall. Probably raining where you are, too. There's a 91% chance it's going to rain somewhere in our listening area today. I guess we've reached that 100% point, Robin. If it's raining, it's 100%, right?
Exactly, I would say.
I don't know. Lisa McGinnes is in the studio. This is Ocala Magazine Radio. Oh, you have your own music. What am I doing, Lisa? I'm sorry. Let me back. We'll just rewind the tape and redo this. Hold on. I know it's in here somewhere. Joe wrote this piece. Hold on. It's a composition by Joe Martone. Wait a second. It's right here. It's right here. These things are in numerical order, not to be confused with alphabetical order. All right, here we go. Here we go. That's much more upbeat. There we go. Now it feels like your show. Can you hear it? No? Yeah, let me turn up the microphones. There you go.
Okay, now it feels like Ocala Magazine.
Sorry, yeah, I know. I'm so distracted today. Maybe because you brought a pretty woman in the room? That's what happens to us, guys. Lisa McGinnes is here, editor-in-chief. That's your new title, right?
It is.
Well, good for you. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so very much.
Congratulations.
That's a nice building you're in, by the way. Do you actually work out of the building, the Ocala Magazine building?
Yes, we're down in the historic district, and the building that we're in is over 100 years old.
It used to be somebody's house. Isn't that amazing?
Can you imagine?
Can you picture like children just running in and out, and opening those big windows because there was no air conditioning, right?
Not
back in those
then.
days?
There is now, thank goodness. Yeah, not back
And
then.
was the road dirt, you think? What do you think it was?
I can only imagine it was, right?
Probably, or what do you call it? Brick or cobblestone? What do you call what do you call that area outside of that little stretch in Ocala? Is that brick or cobblestone?
That's brick.
Magnolia, it's brick.
That's brick.
It's
Out
different.
front of the Marion Theater.
What is the difference? Do you know? Anybody know?
They're more round cobblestones.
Cobblestones are stones, where bricks are bricks.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Exactly.
So cobblestones are like natural.
There's a stupid man in the room.
Natural
All the
stones.
women know what this is. The man doesn't know. Caitlan Dickey, is that
Yes,
your name?
sir.
Caitlan, you are Miss Florida teen.
Yes.
You could be Miss USA. You are so
My
pretty.
goodness. Thank you so much.
Everybody tells you that? How do you know you're pretty when you're pretty?
I don't know.
Does everybody tell you? Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Do you hate hearing it?
It depends if I'm wearing athletic shorts and my hair in a bun and no wig.
Oh,
I know
come
that's a
on.
little bit different than this.
Yeah.
But,
That doesn't change pretty, right? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Lisa doesn't want to comment.
Subjective.
You don't want to comment?
Yes,
So you have a crown.
I do.
And who put the crown on your head?
Anna Ross, who's actually also from Ocala. And she is, just such an incredible woman and such a role model for me throughout this past year. And so I looked at everything she did as inspiration for the kind of queen I want to be.
The kind of queen you want to be. You know, her dad is who we know. We don't know her, but we know her dad, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the, oh gosh, what's the butler's name again?
James.
James, of course, that's
the
his real
butler
name.
when he raises money.
You know, that's another TV show we want to start binging on. What's it called?
Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
You do?
I binge watched the entire thing. I have to tell you, one of the main characters does pass away though, and it took me a few days to get back to the show because I was so devastated, so devastated. I couldn't take it. It was almost like. Oh gosh, like a friend had passed or something. I was so absorbed in that show. So, if you're going to start it, know that you need to put away some time because you're going to.
It's that good, huh?
It is that good.
Does your mom watch that show? Your mom, Robin? Your mom?
Yes, she watched all the seasons. Yeah.
See, I haven't watched TV. This is the honest truth. Lately, we've been watching Suits. Mm-hmm. But until that, that was just about a month ago we started.
Yeah.
Do you know the last time I watched TV as a regular viewer? I'm not saying I didn't watch the news and that kind of thing. Lost in Space.
She doesn't even know.
That might be so.
That's before your mother was born.
Yeah. That was black and white, okay?
Your mother is not even old enough to remember that one. So Lisa, before we talk to Caitlan, why is Caitlan in the studio? What are you guys doing with the pageant?
Well, I should clarify. Ocala Magazine was not in any way involved in the pageant. I actually met.
You're very pretty too, by the way.
Thank you.
Are. And you're so sweet. Isn't you so sweet? And you're, as a couple, you and your husband are just the sweetest thing.
Okay, well, thanks for mentioning him. We actually are having our wedding anniversary on Monday.
Happy wedding
How many
anniversary.
3.
3 years.
Nice.
Well, good for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Caitlin, they met on computer.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
It was modern romance.
The first date was a long walk
Oh my goodness.
On the beach.
Real romance.
on the beach.
There you go.
It was our second date, but he was close.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
He was close.
Yeah.
Well, so I actually met Caitlan when I interviewed her for a whole different article that we're working on in
Oh,
Ocala
okay.
magazine. And I don't want to give everything away about that just yet.
Really?
But what you're going to find in talking to her, she's not just beautiful, she's a very smart and very...
She knows what cobblestones are.
Very politically aware young woman, and she just has some great ideas and is going to do great things. So I can't wait for you to hear more from her.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Oh, I'm interested to go in that direction then. Political. So what? Do you anything else about the magazine?
Well, I do have a couple quick announcements.
Okay.
If you remember, we've been talking about our 40 under 40 party. It feels like we've been talking about it forever, and now it's actually time, and it's actually coming up this next week. So
Caitlin's under 40. Is she in there?
not this time. She wasn't nominated this time. I'm sure somebody's going to nominate her next year.
Okay,
right?
okay.
She's got a lot of time to be in there.
Exactly.
So next Thursday, July 26th, 5:30 to 7:30, 40 under 40 party, free, open to the public. Everybody's invited.
Really?
Our 40 under 40 are going to be there. They're our honorees, so we're going to celebrate them. We're going to have DJ Matt Gray spinning tunes. There's going to be food, wine from Katya Vineyards, and it's just going to be a really fun time. So it's open to everybody. It's at Next Step Fitness, which is my gym, and everybody should come out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. We're going to. That's a fun one.
That's a fun one.
I'm looking ahead on your notes here. You have a
Okay.
candidate forum coming up?
Yeah, so that one's a little bit more serious, but important event. So Ocala Magazine is sponsoring a candidate forum and debate. It's next Wednesday, July 25th at 7 p.m. at the Riley Arts Center.
Really?
Yeah, so this is,
Who's going to be on the stage?
I think most of our local candidates.
School board,
Yeah,
county
these
commission?
local candidates have been invited. So if you've been following, in the primary election on August 28th, we will be electing the 3 Marion County Court judges.
Yes.
So they don't
Yes.
get elected in November. They
Right.
get elected from the
Right.
primary vote
Yeah.
in August. So 3 out of the 4 judges up for re-election this year. Also, as you said, school board. I think 3 out of the 5 school board members are up for re-election. So this is a nonpartisan event. It's sponsored by this Marion Coalition for Effective Government, and Ocala Magazine is a sponsor. So it's going to be a nice event for you to come and hear from these
So here,
candidates and
pass-
learn what they're
give that
about
please.
and make some good decisions as we go into that primary election.
I have something for you.
Okay.
This is for the people in the audience that come to watch it.
Oh, great.
That's a way to tally up what you think of each of those people.
Thank you.
And you can use it any way you want. You can change my rule. I gave it 5 points each one, but some things you might say, no, it should be 10 points. But whatever, as long as it's across the board on your tally, then you'll know. And it's just for your personal use, so you know who you want to vote for.
Wow, so you came up with this. What a
Robin and I.
No,
Robin.
Larry
what a
did,
great
yeah.
idea.
Over at Bojangles. We were eating chicken.
Wow.
It's an inspiration, that
They have big tables
restaurant.
over there.
Love it. Thank you. And so, of course, I just have to mention this part because I just want to make sure everybody knows. Both Caitlan and I are big advocates for voting. We're not going to tell you who to vote for, but we want you to get out and vote.
Yeah, right,
So July 30th is the last day that you can register to vote or that you can change your party so that you can vote in the primary election. So
Right.
votemarion.com. That's the website, but just remember July 30th is the last day.
And it's very important to say that because some people think they might be on the rolls and they're registered, and all of a sudden they go to vote and they're not. So that's another good reason to call the supervisor of elections to check just to make sure you're on the rolls.
And it's easy to check on their website, votemarion.com. Yeah, easy to look up yourself and make sure that you're all set.
And by the way, if you are a diehard party person and your party loses, it's okay to cry because it's your party.
And you can cry if you want.
That's right. This is way before Caitlin's time. This is before
No, she knows that reference, right?
Yeah.
She knows that one. I'm just having fun with you guys today. See, you came on a Friday, Caitlan. There's Friday in our contract that says you have to have fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mondays are made to have fun. That makes sense.
I know. Monday we'll talk about slavery and things like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Thank goodness I'm here on Fridays.
Thank goodness I'm here on Fridays.
So Caitlan, tell me about yourself. Did you grow up in Ocala?
I did. Born and raised here in Ocala, and I went to Madison Street Elementary and then Osceola. I just graduated from Forest High School, and so this is all I've ever known. I absolutely love it here.
Wow. And so let's see. What do you like? What are your passions?
Let's see.
What are your
I
passions?
absolutely love traveling. I would do it full time if I could. Not necessarily realistic, as I know. I just got back from a trip all around Europe. I went to Germany and the Czech Republic and Switzerland and France, and it was just so incredible.
Oh my God!
And so I cannot wait.
Don't go through that real quickly. Tell me about that. What was that like?
Okay, so
I want to live vicariously through somebody else.
I was really
Were you by
shocked.
yourself?
I was not. I was with friends. It was my senior trip, and so I had friends and two of my favorite teachers of all time, the Crawfords, who everyone at Forest High School knows. And then my mom actually came on my senior trip with me because
I don't blame her. Yeah, I don't blame her.
My mom and my older sister. So my mom had never been to Europe, and I had, and I mean, gosh, she was paying for it.
This is your second time?
It was, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went to Spain over Christmas break because we had a foreign exchange student who just became my sister. And so I went and visited her for Christmas.
Are you fluent in any of the languages?
I am not even a little bit fluent. I don't even know if I can say a sentence in Spanish. In French, bonjour. You always greet someone when you're in France with French first.
Okay.
Even if they might know English, it's.
I didn't know that. That's
more
a rule,
polite.
huh?
It is. You always greet someone in their language. Basically, you shouldn't ever just assume. Even though so many people around the world speak English today, it can be kind of rude to just assume. So
exactly,
that was interesting to learn. I didn't know that either.
So if I go to Germany, I can ask somebody if they have fleas. Because my grandmother was German, and she had a dog, and she would always say, "Hast du Flöhe?" And do you have fleas? So if I go to Germany, Lisa, that's my go-to sentence.
Yeah, maybe don't greet someone with that, though. That might also come off a little bit rude.
I can always pretend I don't know what it means, right?
Well, then they'd probably just look at you funny.
I thought I was asking for a cheeseburger. I'm sorry. All right. So when I asked you what your passions were, and that was a great answer, and I wish we could talk more about that.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about it's one of our bucket list things, right?
Yeah.
But I like to ask people's passions because that kind of gives me a hint, especially young people, because it gives me a hint of what you might like to do with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So tell me, make the connection between what you want to do, maybe for a living, or maybe as what do you call it, avocation when it's not your job, and what your passions are. Connect the two.
So I'm actually going to the University of Florida this fall, majoring in political science, and Florida has never had a woman governor or a woman senator.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to take either of those roles. Or both. Although if someone comes along before me, I'd also happily let them as
Take
well.
one of these.
Yes, sir.
You know what that's going to do? That's going to give you some background of what we, as the interviewers, want to know.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It's important to talk to your.
I tell all the candidates, you have to be prepared for the questions that we, the interviewers, are going to ask.
Exactly.
And to me, they're usually across the board.
Yeah.
So if you're elected governor, would you open up swimming at Silver Springs? I think that'll get all the votes.
That's right.
You know what? I would love to do that. I love Silver Springs. I grew up there, basically. My family goes kayaking there, at least once a month, if not more. Originally, I thought I wanted to do environmental engineering because of my love for Silver Springs and wanting to preserve that here in Florida. And so, my focus has kind of shifted. I now want to be on the more political side of that, to be able to enact legislature that will protect those springs.
Good for you.
Like
That's a good thing. Yeah. We had a young lady in here from Denellen one time, and she was campaigning against a subdivision that was going up near the Rainbow River.
Yeah.
And it was just so refreshing to see somebody young wanting to do something so important. It didn't work out in her favor. They ended up building the thing anyway.
Yeah, that happens.
So, do you have any issues aside from the environment that you're passionate about?
I certainly do. I think safety is something that's really important. Safety in our communities, whether that be more funding to our police. respecting that and understanding that they need the funds to keep our community safe. Education, my mom is a principal, and so I grew up learning the importance
Where's she principal?
of education. She was at Ward Highlands,
Oh, okay,
and then she
okay.
was at Reddick Collier before that, and now she's taken a position on the county level. And
Nice.
in Crystal River, though. And what is that? What county is that?
Citrus.
Citrus County. Yes. So I think we're both moving, which I'm really sad about. Like I said, I love Ocala, but I'm going to UF, so I'm moving to Gainesville, and I think they're moving to Citrus.
So you are obviously a well-rounded person. Does that help you become Miss Florida, or is it not just about beauty? If there's more to it than just beauty?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so much more than beauty. The system that I actually represent, National American Miss, we have three competitions. There's formal wear, which is about being confident on stage, being able to hold your chin up high and smile and feel elegant, right? And then there's interview, what we're doing right now, which is so important because these are skills we're going to take into our future. When we were interviewing for, real world positions,
Right.
we're going into the job force, and so National American Miss is giving us these skills and really how to perfect them before we have to do that. And then there's personal introduction, which is public speaking basically. So
Bonjour. That's how you introduce it.
so you stand up on stage and you give a 30-second speech about
Wow,
about
just
yourself.
30 seconds.
Yeah, just 30 seconds.
That's not even an elevator speech.
No.
Right?
So you really have to. Also, that's a great chance to learn how to really sum up who you are.
That's
as
hard
a
to
person.
do, right?
It is.
Did you have one prepared for the
Absolutely.
contest?
I did.
Do you have it still in your memory?
Oh my gosh, I memorized so many speeches for this. Let me think how it even starts. Because now you're putting me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gosh, I was like, I won. I don't need to worry about
No,
this.
it's Friday. It's fun. It's fun Friday. Don't.
Isn't that crazy how that happens?
Yeah, it is. It is because
No?
it's like
'Cause I
taking a test or something, and you study for the
Exactly.
test. You take the test.
Oh gosh,
and-
I probably practiced my intro for at least, maybe 5 or 6 months, right, leading up to this. And so it definitely takes dedication and a lot of just sitting down, talking to yourself. I did that a lot. I would just sit down in my room and have conversations with myself.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, sometimes I'd record myself. I said a lot that time. Let me try to cut that out a little bit.
Good job,
Maybe
yeah,
I should
yeah.
say 5 times in one sentence, like everything, right? So and so National American Miss definitely helped me with that.
Those beauty pageant contestants end up on YouTube being made fun of, right? Because you see them all the time.
Oh my
Some
God.
poor girl who's just, so nervous she can't stop saying and then they throw her under the bus, right?
Yeah. You have to keep in mind though that is the 1% of girls
Right.
do that
Right.
and end up. But I have to say I've never done the question on stage question before, and that's exactly what it sounds like, right? If you guys don't know, you just pull a question out of a jar. Sometimes a judge will read you a question and you're on the spot having to answer that in front of thousands, sometimes millions of people, depending on what system you're in, right? Whether it's USA,
Exactly.
America, things like that. And oh my gosh, I am maybe dreading that a little bit. I think I want to go on to continue to do this in my future.
This is really good preparation for what it sounds like you want to do.
Yeah, whether it be for pageants in the future or my career as a politician, this is definitely my future.
So what are you going to be doing this year as Miss Florida Teen?
Oh my gosh, I have so many things I want to accomplish. Something that I'm really passionate about is serving fostered youth. And so I'll hopefully have the platform to speak more about that and to continue to raise awareness in our communities and all over the state of Florida, not just Ocala, which is awesome.
Since you graduated from Forest High School when the shooting happened, how did you feel?
Yeah, that was probably one of the scariest days of my life. I think we all feel like that, right? But the way our community came together and the love that Ocala gave Forest High School. I mean, even Vanguard, who is definitely our biggest rival, right? We don't like Vanguard. They still showed us so much love. And I have to say the Forest High School staff is just wow. The way they responded, every single teacher, they would be giving us hugs and telling us that that they care for us, and that we're glad we're safe. I go home every day to an incredible family, to parents who are always going to be there and support me. Not every student went home that day to someone like that, right? And since they're not getting it there, to have our Forest High School staff respond the way they did, it was really incredible, and I'm so thankful for that.
I think one of the reasons we didn't have a horrible story that day is because of a couple of elected officials, one being Superintendent Heidi Mayer. I mean, she made that decision after the Parkland horrible story to keep the doors locked in the school, what they call the Alice Protocol.
Yes.
So that was an unbelievably smart and wise thing to do. It stopped the 19-year-old idiot from killing anybody.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Absolutely, I do. You know, I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know what his plan was, obviously, the shooters. But I have to say that if he was able to open that door and open fire rather than have to shoot under the door, obviously we would be looking at drastically different headlines.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And if he did change his mind, thank God, right? But he could have changed his mind after he had opened that door. So we are definitely thankful for those.
He wanted his name to be known. That's what I think. And to me, that's why we in the news media should not mention their names. We should not be printing their pictures. You know, Rolling Stone magazine was so stupid to put the photo of the guy who was one of the bombers up in Boston. They put it on the cover of their magazine. Now, that is the most ridiculous thing to do. You know, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I think those are the last people we need to be glorifying. I absolutely agree.
So what is your next step? What do you do next? What does your year entail?
Okay.
Are there duties associated with being Miss Teen Florida?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for one, something that's really important to me is just being a role model to young women. I absolutely do consider myself to be a feminist, and I think, we hear that word and sometimes, oh gosh, she thinks women are better than men. And I absolutely do not.
I don't think so. I think the word simply means that we should all be on the same playing field.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I'll continue to advocate for women's social equality and just uplift other women, which is, seems like an obvious thing, but sometimes we get caught up in our lives and caught up in maybe drama or feel like we're constantly competing with each other. And to say, hey, we are here for each other and we're really meant to just support each other. And so I look forward to being a role model for that and encouraging other young women to do the same.
Yeah, you're already doing it, so right, Lisa? She's doing it.
And that's something that Lisa does with her magazine, with Ocala Magazine, not just through the pages of the magazine, but also in Lisa's personal life. She's constantly raising people up and making people feel good about what they do for themselves and family and community.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a dragonfly necklace?
I am.
Ah, that's pretty.
And matching earrings.
Is there a story behind the dragonfly?
Well, it was a gift from my husband when, not too long after we started dating, but dragonflies were kind of special for me because one of the things, as you know, that we like to do is go kayaking. And so often when we're out on the waterways, I'll have a dragonfly, come to sit on my boat. So that's,
really?
That's one of my
favorite you're the
things.
dragonfly whisperer.
Not officially. Not officially.
Lisa, we could have used you when my son was about 9. He had an assignment to bring in an insect to school. And so we went outside and we saw these dragonflies. They are not easy to catch. They are hard to catch.
I've never tried to catch one.
Because they come to you. That's why they come to you.
Oh, I just like to observe them. Sometimes they ride along with me in my kayak, and it's one of my favorite things.
Wow, that's sweet.
Caitlan, do you go to the schools? Is this going to be part of your duties during the school year to go to the schools and speak to the different groups?
Yeah, I think that definitely goes along with just uplifting other young women. Like I said, my mom's a principal, and so really being involved in education is important to me, especially at the younger levels. And so young kids, I really look forward to being around and interacting with and hopefully showing them what a role model is, right?
And she'll be going to California to compete in the national pageant.
Wow.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, my God. You're going to win. Look at you. She's going to win.
When is that?
That's actually the week of Thanksgiving. And so you spend an entire week there, and they have this big Thanksgiving banquet. And it's just such a wonderful time. And I am so excited. There's, obviously queens from every state. And so to be with my sister queens, that's the way we call them, I'm also really looking forward to that. It's probably
Oh
one of
my
my most
gosh.
exciting parts of the year. Definitely will be going to nationals.
No matter how she places, she's going to make Florida proud, don't you think?
And Ocala.
I
proud.
think so. Ocala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought it was very special that for the second year in a row, we have a Miss Florida teen from right here in Ocala.
That is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's in the water. It's that fresh water you want to protect.
You know what it is? Maybe it is in the water, but I would also say that when you surround yourself with people who are encouraging, and when you have a role model right there in your life, it's incredible the kind of growth that you make within yourself. And I just give all the credit to Anna. She is just such an incredible woman. She's going to American University in DC, also majoring in political
Oh,
science.
we met some kids from that school. Remember, we had lunch with them.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Where were we? Oh, Chattanooga. We were in Chattanooga. We had lunch with them.
Yeah. But that's really an important message that you're giving out, is to be a role model yourself, but you have role models as well.
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's people that Marie Curie, who was a scientist forever ago, right? She's passed on now, or it's our current politicians, or it's a celebrity that is doing charity work that you are inspired by, or someone, your mom or your sister, someone that's right there in your life that you can look up to. You can have role models on every level. You don't need just one, right?
You are so insightful. And so amazing.
Well, if you were running for office, we would definitely vote for you.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on the win you already have. And thank you for making
Yes.
Ocala proud.
Thank you so much. You were my first appearance, so this was so exciting.
And we got it captured on video. Caitlan, thank you for coming in. Lisa, thank you for what you do. You're an amazing
Thank you
lady.
so much.
Good to see you again. See you back here next week.
Yes.
We'll be right back.